gentlemen, welcome to another cast done by Diggity on behalf of StarCastTV. This time we have Snow in the upper right-hand corner, starting as the red Protoss going up against Action in the bottom left-hand corner as the teal Zerg. Teal? Green? Marine green? That color green Zerg. This is going to be on Eclipse, which I have not seen a 1v1 on Eclipse in quite some time. Should be an interesting one. Snow is particularly frustrating in the early game with his probe harassment, so I would not be at all surprised to see Action open up with a 9 pool, or maybe even a overpool or 12 pool. We'll have to see. I would be shocked to see him try to open a 12 or 11 or 12 hatch versus this. Snow already gonna, I wouldn't be shocked if Snow actually drops the pile and just moves with that initial probe. It looks like he is going to drop back though. Gas steal notwithstanding. But historically, Snow, this is his weakest matchup versus Zerg. I will say the way he has been playing lately, I'm not sure that's the case anymore. He has been playing very, very strong versus Zerg as of late. And he did have that group of death, I think it was ASL, the previous round of ASL, where he was in a group of death with Zerg and managed to come out on top position. Going to open gateway first here. I was actually wondering if that was going to be the case because he actually pulled that probe back into the main. Is going to show that probe as he's making his way across. The Zealot, the gateway first has just been a lot more popular these days, particularly in the face of the 973, but also it just gives a lot of flexibility in that mid game where you can hide Zealots around the map and maybe get some disruption across the third or other locations. Looks like I am actually surprised that we're seeing a 12 hatch here. So we are in fact seeing a 12 hatch. Again, this opens up some opportunity for Snow maybe to be obnoxious. So he didn't get down in time to disrupt the hatchery, but he is going to have time here where there's no Zerglings, and he's going to have his very feisty probes running around. So now we see a spawning pool drop. We'll see if we see a rapidly timed gas, or if we're going to see 3 base before hatchery. Actually getting some disruption on that drone before, yeah, it's attacking away, doing the damage. The drone trying to retreat, has minerals in hand, so it can't get the full return cargo and carry. First Zealot on its way across the map to provide some support as well. Spawning pool about halfway finished. So the might get some good value out of this to start. And it looks like we are going to see 3 hatchery before, an attempt at 3 hatchery before gas for Action, because Action's made no movement currently to grab his gas. And that's definitely not going unnoticed by Snow. Let's see if this Zealot marches straight down to the natural expansion, or if it even tries to go for some disruption at that 9 o'clock base, potentially at the third. Behind all this, it looks like after the initial 2 Zealots making the way, or sorry, the initial Zealot making its way across, we are going to see a Nexus followed up. Rather than additional pressure, the gas now being dropped after that third hatchery. Zealot marching into the main. Few Zerglings being constructed, but we have a good amount of weakened drones. Let's see if they get picked out here by Snow overall. Decent drone drill, but a lot of economic time lost there. And the Zerglings taking some free shots, not able to get some shots on the Zealots. Otherwise, 1 drone down, Zerglings trying to mix it up, getting a good surround, but Snow backing off, not able to get the probe, however. Still no gas mining at this stage, and 6 Zerglings are in fact out. Now the drone's waiting to get in that gas. Snow actually going to cycle back around, and the probe actually splitting location as well. Another Zealot taking the field. It looks like a 3rd Zealot is in fact queued. The probe going to go ahead and exit out, splitting the Zergling, and that's actually more Zerglings that have taken the field now. So we got the 2 Zerglings trying to chase down the probe as it's making its way back towards the main. Another drone getting wiped out, it looks like. So pretty good harassment thus far. And a lot of Zerglings forced out of this before this Zealot finally is taken out. 2 Zealots now on the edge. Forge warping in. Nice full blockade, and that drone should be able to walk through his own ally. Natural expansion up. We do have that gas. And the Overlord pushing its way in to see what the follow-up tech is going to be, whether it is going to be the standard cybernetics score. So 9 o'clock location's up. The Zealot, the 2nd Zealot that was out in the field, sneaking all the way to the north of the map. The Zerglings on the hunt. Look at them go every which way on the mini-map, trying to find any sort of stray and deny any sort of information. That Zealot going to hide itself right this second in the top left corner. Move out down the line. Looks like only a single drone on gas here for Action, which leads me to believe that he is going to either... I'm wondering if he's going to skip 973 and everything else altogether and try to make a quick move to 5 hatch Hydra play, or maybe all in Zergling here. We've got an evolution chamber dropping. So completely, oh, and now with Snow coming in with the second probe, force the cancellation, he's gonna certainly see that there's only one drone on gas. And all of a sudden, action, he's got nothing. He's got no tech here. He did tech to layer. I don't see a tech to layer at any additional location. The evolution chamber being dropped, the natural expansion now. Yeah, I think he just wants to go all in +1 Zerglings. So Zergling speed has been spotted. The Snow has to know something's up here, though. Another cannon being dropped. Zealots on the ground. Stargate, is that still being built? Yeah, and we have a Citadel Dune as well. The Zealot able to get into the 9 o'clock location, disrupt some mining there. So 3 drones pulled off, weakened. Another hatchery being dropped now at the 9 o'clock location. Yeah, I think this is just going to be an attempt to fold back to 5 hatch Hydralisk and skip a lot of the space in between from action and maybe try to win the upgrade war overall, or stay somewhat close on that upward war. Zerglings piling in, able to wipe that Zealot out, but Snow able to get a lot of critical information there. So 4 hatcheries at the very least. Let's see it. Is that the Overlords? Get out of the way. Can't select the building under there to tell what it is. There's the 5th hatchery. I think that's going to be a Hydra Den. I literally cannot tell because there it goes. Never mind. It's going to be a defensive creep colony. This is an odd build from action, I have to say. Now SimCitying it up. But yeah, definitely going for, so skipping layer tech, skipped gas for quite some time, maybe to try to get a few more minerals to get those additional hatcheries down. He has a lot of drones right this second. A huge amount of drones, actually. He's really surged that economy forward. And might have pulled it off. So Zealot leg speed upgrading, 2 gateways behind this. Corsair is able to wander in and check things up. Seems that the spore colony, wow, I guess that was an anti-DT spore colony? Or just an anti-massive amount of Corsair. All the Overlords hovering right now at the natural expansion. Hydralisk Den down, the upgrades beginning there, and we're going to see 6 hatch Hydralisk and a tech to layer, second gas down. I don't know what action's up to be honest, because this almost feels like he might. So he's teching to layer here. He's got that second gas, which is usually a little bit, I mean, it's not lacking if you're just going to pump Hydras off 6 base and go for a bust. But he does have the 33 drones right here. +1 Carapace will be online in not too long. We'll see how it plays out. A lot of Zerglings being constructed out in the field. Maybe to try to cope with that +1 weapons. The Zealot moving out with the +1 weapons. Currently have that upgrade advantage, but not for a huge amount of time. They are going to get a lot of value currently, though, as there's a big space of time where that +1 weapons is, or that +1 armor not online. And this is not a sunken colony. This is, again, a spore colony. So the Zealots marching in against the Zerglings that still don't have +1 weapons. Now the Corsair are going to work. Drones pulling off the line to try to defend this natural expansion. Zerglings now pouring out as the Zealots marching forward. +1 Carapace is going to click in, which will make them more hardy against this, as the Hydralisk now spawning as well. Granted, Snow hasn't been able to get into the natural to kill a lot of these drones. That drone count has held at 33 this entire time, and he lost a lot of these Zealots, but at the same time, that's a lot of Zerglings and a lot else that was expended. Now looks like 1 drone was taken out from all of that. That actually might have been a pretty good, I don't know, that might have been a pretty good trade for action, as he was able to wipe out all the Zealots. He spent Zerglings, yes. Now DT moving out in the map. Overlord speed is a ways off, as it looks like it is researching. So, and the Zealots not going to have that +1 weapon advantage over the Zerglings here. That's going to make a lot of this more hardy. A Dark Templar able to get into the natural. Drones trying to defend themselves, losing their lives. Action immediately refilling that drone count to maintain that 33 supply about, dropping a Spire at this stage. Hydralisks and Zerglings flooding for what looks like to be an attempt at a contain now at that natural expansion. I don't think Lurker Tech is going to be upgraded. I think he just wants to play the upgrade war. And so he's got +1 weapons on the way. Do we have another evolution chamber someplace? I don't see a second Evo anywhere around. But I think he's hoping to deny a 3rd base. Snow, being the sneaky has managed to sneak some Zealots out on the field. Dropping a 3rd cannon, or sorry, dropping a robotics facility there, has the 2 High Templar, a slew of gateways, is doing kind of the standard Protoss thing of let's build an army behind this so we can go ahead and cap our 3rd. +2 weapons is going to be online in not too long, where he'll feel a lot more confident running around the map. Spire is finished, and now I'm wondering if Action, is he just going to go, yeah, he's going to try to hit a Mutalisk switch. He's got a lot of larvae to do it with, and he had a lot of gas saved. No cannon preventatively at the natural expansion. There's only that single Corsair as well. And so this could catch Snow by surprise, but while that's happening, the Zealots in mass are marching to the 9 o'clock base. Zerglings and Hydralisks on delay running up here. So now, as the Mutalisks are spawning, that should give a big signal to, that'll give Snow plenty of time to get some anti-air up. He's going to end up losing these Zealots, but a massive amount of economic disruption plus huge forewarning, and he's not stopping yet. Going to dive another grouping of Zealots towards the natural. I don't think he's going to get a lot here because this is a massive Sim City. Plus he has those, it takes a while for the Mutalisks to kill the Zealots, but I just don't think they're going to get there. So both Zealot armies wiped out. So, never mind, the Zealots from the natural running into the main, trying to get some additional disruption, not quite able to get a lot done. There's the cannon warping in at the main, at the natural, and a few Corsair out there as well. Gonna take out that Overlord overhead. So with that, the Zealots sacrificing their lives, Action in the red right this second. Supply lead starting to grow for Snow. +2 weapons, +1 armor now online. Sizable gateway count. The Mutalisk pushing in. This just feels like you had to know. Well, he's gonna get there before the cannon. Barely. But there's still plenty of Corsairs. Scourge there to respond. Psystorm actually protecting the Corsairs against the Scourge. One of them falls, and the Mutalisk's gonna back out at about 2/3 health. That still is gonna be something. This is just turning into a crazy game, both directions. A wild one. Snow with a sizable amount of supply does have to be wary about the Mutalisk backstabs. Action has now droned up heavily. Is equalized at about 50 drones across 3 bases. Is going to go ahead and grab that 10 o'clock base. Try to macro up from there with that Mutalisk threat, feeling like Snow's not going to come at him. Snow making his way out. He also has, it looks like, a Zergling and an Overlord positioned to the 12 o'clock to get eyes on whether a 3rd base is being grabbed or not. But Snow is screening forward. Mutalisks able to dive in. They got 1 High Templar. Going to expend the rest of their life. The rest of it looks like they were able to at least wipe out all of the Psystorm threat across the board. That is going to send Snow into a more defensive situation, hunting down all of the Mutalisks that remain. Some Zerglings now streaming out, recognizing that where that might have been an attack force from Snow with those High Templar out of the field, he is going to try to grab that 12 o'clock. Zerglings streaming across, want to pick off that probe, but that probe already safely in position. That was kind of a nice, I like that play actually. Lurkers and Hydralisks now starting to surge forward. Snow with the 30 supply lead right this second. But Action, despite being supply capped right here, in a pretty good situation. He's got a lot of drones. He's got a lot of bases to work with. Yeah, he's not able to stop Snow from grabbing the additional base, but if he can get some Overlords in the air, he should be able to do a couple drone cycles and catch up in supply. Snow has a window right here, though, as he's got a 50 supply lead. Action deep in the red. Man, taking him a while to get that supply count back up. Did he just miss a cycle? Actually taking down his own Spore Colony to provide a little bit more movement. I don't know if Snow recognizes whether he's got the supply count lead or not, but he's starting to press forward. Zealot's doing a lot of damage. An Observer, well protected, cycling through as well. And good spread from Snow with those Zealots across those Lurkers to wipe them out. 40 supply lead and counting as he's capping that additional base. And now taking position over that high ground to potentially cut off any counterattacks, but also maybe assault that, have a task force to assault that natural expansion. A group of Hydralisks and Lurkers have broken lines, though. They're making a shot towards that 12 o'clock. The Zealots able to mirror that movement. Looks like a few High Templar getting scattered away from that army. And Action backing off otherwise. But Snow could be... We'll see if this base gets saturated or not. Right now, Snow with a big supply lead. But that Macro count slowly growing, looking for action to just step on the gas pedal and start dropping a lot of troops. It looks like he does have that tech to hive the 3 Evo chambers behind this. Otherwise, Snow in deep into enemy territory right here. He does need to be very, very careful with that observer, but it looks like there's just not a Scourge or a Hydralisk grouping to wipe that observer out. So being pushed back, big upgrade lead with +3 weapons, +2 armor as well. So the Zealots and everything else able to clear out that entire army in front of that natural expansion. Rather than pressing things in though, Snow is recognizing that, you know what, I've got a big enough threatening army. Let me just go ahead and force action to build more troops. And I will grab a Nexus in the bottom right and wipe out his attack force. Ooh, Lurker's getting absolutely lambasted there though. So the Lurkers get wiped out, but a lot of Zealots getting cleared out. Still a 30 supply lead for Snow overall. Right-hand base is going to get established. Snow setting up for a longer game, looking to get more favorable trades, and he has gotten pretty favorable trades thus far. Going to force action to kind of walk out to him and expose some troops, eat maybe some free Psy Storms and whatnot. Get a few free Zerglings here and there. Some Zerglings able to scuttle out, but not able to capture the probes as they're, it looks like they just recognize, okay, that base is in fact establishing in the bottom right. And Snow pressing now into that 9 o'clock location, wiping out all attack forces in front of it. Yeah, and still maintains his army, so he's able to wipe out a good amount of troops. The Archon on top of the Zerglings, that's going to, well, the Archon actually getting wiped out right there. He needs to be a little bit careful he doesn't get surrounded and swarmed right here. Still with a massive supply lead. Drop the Storms, weaken the Lurkers, kill them and back out. Yeah, Snow doing a great job of getting some trades and just walking right back out. Let's see if he can reinforce and save this army on the front. Losing some of the High Templar, the Zealots marching up to provide some reinforcement. Unfortunately, walking right on top of the Lurker line. That's not what they want to be. Want to get part of this army. Nice play from action to dodge out of the Psy Storm. But now, looks like Snow starting to... Ooh, did I miss a drop? No, just some Corsair here in the background. Natural expansion's been expended. Main's out, so it's 2 bases. Action's still sitting on 4. He's got a Defiler Mound, is working on Plague. More Overlords getting taken out. He really has not been able to breach that 100 supply count for very long, despite the hefty base and hatchery count. Which is just a testament to Snow's ability to walk in, wipe these troops out, keep those Corsairs active. Yeah, he's just catching scattered troops here and there. Finally a Dark Swarm, but Zealots do not care about Dark Swarm, nor do Archons. Completely obliterating that army. The Lurkers, yeah, just scattering, and it just feels like Snow's getting the better stationing across the board. The Zealots may be marching a little bit. No, able to get on top of these Lurkers, obliterate them. Now action has to call GG as the Zealots, undeterred, marching into the 9 o'clock. You have Corsairs at the 10 o'clock going to be able to wipe out a bunch of Overlords there, and Snow with plenty of bases to continue to run it. Action never able to turn that economic lead into more troops to keep up with Snow. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give a like and subscribe to StarCastTV. Otherwise, thank you for listening.